Today we are discussing the topic refrigeration and air conditioning. It is important topic in basic mechanical engineering, and as we have already decided, power consuming devices in which power is consumed. So refrigeration and air conditioning falls under the power consuming devices. So this you have to see, refrigeration and air conditioning is falls under the power consuming devices. Same like pumps and air compressor. Now what you have to do is, here you have to keep in mind about refrigeration. So what is refrigeration? Initially we have to see about the refrigeration, and later on we have to see about the air conditioning. So what we have to do is, refrigeration is process of reducing the temperature of the system. You have to reduce the temperature of the system below the surrounding temperature, and not only reducing, we also have to maintain it by continuous removal of the heat. So we have to remove the heat from the system so that automatically our system is to be in cooling condition with respect to the outside temperature. And it works on the principle of reverse Carnot cycle. We already studied about the heat pump, in which we already discussed about the heat engine. In heat engine, we have discussed about the Carnot cycle. So heat engine is the power producing device. So refrigeration works on the principle of reverse Carnot cycle, as it is the power consuming devices in which power is consumed, and because of that power, heat is removing continuously to make the system in cooling condition. So for that, we have some important refrigerant to be used for the purpose of cooling, like CFC, then HCFC. In terms of the code, you can also remember R134A and R41A is very famously nowadays used. Ammonia is specifically used in the industry, then carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and methyl chloride is also used with respect to the air. So this is about the refrigerant that normally we are using. Now here you have to see, the refrigerant should have the low boiling point and freezing point. So that is the main concept why such kind of the materials are used as a refrigerant, because it should have low boiling and freezing point with high critical temperature. Otherwise, it is impossible to make the system in temperature less than the surrounding temperature. So here you have to see, the thermal conductivity should be considerably good. It should have non-porosity, and having we can mix with the lubricating oil so that proper lubrication can be done for the movable parts, specifically for the compressors. I will show you which kind of the important parts are used in the refrigeration and air conditioning. Now the application of refrigeration is what? Normally in domestic things we have to use for the purpose of storing the food. Same way we can storage and transportation of the food, specifically dairy industries, that is to be kept under the low temperature. Otherwise there is a chances of spoilage. Medicine is also there. Ice manufacturing, processing of chemical, petroleum, rubber, some industrial process. Also we can use it in milk manufacturing industry, like dairy industry. In dairy industry, what we have to do is, we are converting the milk into condensate for producing the milk powder, and also we have to store the milk in under the low temperature so that base concept of the spoilage. So at that time, a separate refrigeration plant is there. They will continuously provide the refrigerating effect in the milk powder manufacturing unit, and that cooling effect is normally used to condensate the milk, and that condensate means solid milk, is to be converted into powder form. So there are the lots of applications of the refrigeration from the industrial point of view. Also, we have to liquefy the gases like nitrogen, hydrogen, that can only be possible by means of the refrigeration, and also we have to use it in air conditioning system too. So this is about the generalized application of the refrigeration and air conditioning system. Now I will show you this some fundamental things uh, about the refrigeration system, and you have to keep in mind about the basic behind the refrigeration system, how refrigeration system works. That you have to keep in mind. Now you have to see is what actually uh, which type of thermodynamic process is done here in this. You have to keep in mind about the refrigerating effect that is normally produced by extracting the heat from the system. So what we have to do is we have to assume the cold body at temperature T2 and we have to assume the hot body at temperature T1. Okay, and heat is supplied from cold body to hot body. So how it is possible? From cold body to hot body, heat is supplied. So our system is a cold body. Heat is continuously extracted from our system and it is supplied to the atmosphere. It is thrown out to the atmosphere. Atmosphere is the hot body. But it is naturally not possible. We have to apply some refrigerating effect. So that is called as the refrigeration or refrigerator. We can call it as freeze in our domestic appliances, where we are supplying the external work. Electrical energy is to be supplied and that electrical energy is to be converted into mechanical energy. So it is mechanical element and it consumes the power. So power consuming mechanical element. And because of this work, in terms of the compressor, normally we use the compressor. Refrigerating effect, chilling effect is produced. Yes, heat is extracted from our system. Our system means inside of the fridge to the atmosphere. That is the hot body. So that is the fundamental thing or fundamental logic behind how refrigerator works. Now, according to the second law of thermodynamics, no process is possible whose sole effect is to remove the heat from a cold body to hot body. It is not possible naturally, as I have told earlier. So we have to apply some external work done in form of the refrigerating effect. Okay, that is the compressor. So the process of external energy can be supplied to the heating device is called as the compressor. By means of the compressor, we have to achieve the refrigerating effect, and we can define the capacity of the refrigerating effect in terms of the turns of refrigeration. That you have to keep in mind. This parameter is one of the most important term to define the capability or capacity of the refrigeration or refrigerator. Okay, that we are normally using. So capacity of the refrigerator is TR. Now how to calculate the TR and in connection to the refrigerating effect, I will show you. 1 ton of refrigeration is defined as the quantity of the heat. The quantity of the heat required, the quantity of the heat required to be removed in order to form 1 ton of ice. Suppose you want to produce 1 ton of ice. So definitely you have to remove the some amount of the heat from the cold body from the system. So that quantity of the heat is nothing but the 1 ton of refrigeration. 1 ton of suppose heat to be extracted to manufacture the 1 ton of ice, but 1 ton of ice can be manufactured in any ways. Maybe it may take 1 month, it may take 1 week. So that is not permitted. It should be within 24 hours, means 1 day. Within the initial temperature of water at 0 degree centigrade, and that is also compulsory. Because if your water is at, say for example, minus 50 degree centigrade, then amount of or quantity of the heat removed should be more. So that is also not permitted. So you have to keep in mind the criteria about timing and initial temperature of the water, and then you have to remove the heat to make it in ice, and that heat removed is called as the 1 ton, and that is called as the 1 tier. Now what is the value of 1 tier in mathematics? 1 ton is equal to, according to the definition, just have to see, this. According to the definition, 1 ton is equal to 1000 into 335. 335 is the latent heat of water and 24 hours. Okay, so we are converting it into joule. So 14,000 kilojoule per hour. So 14,000 into 60 by 60 kg per second. So 3.88 joule per second means kilowatt or watt. Means kilojoule per second means kilowatt and joule per second means watt. So 3.88 kilowatt is the actual power that is required to make 1 ton of ice at 0 degree centigrade of the water in 24 hours. So this is called as the 1 ton of refrigeration. Now here you have to see, for calculating the 1 ton, 1 TR, now this is the 1 TR, we have to calculate the 1 TR. 1 TR is equal to 900 kilogram is usually taken. 1 ton is equal to, ideally we are roughly taking about 1000 kg means 1 ton. But the actual amount is not 1000. So nearly we have to take it as 900 kilogram instead of 1 kilogram. 1000 kilogram. So 900 kilogram into this 335 divided by 24 plus 60 plus 60. So 3.51 or 3.88. That is more or less similar to each other. So roundabout, you have to keep in mind about 3.5 to 4 kilowatt is the 1 ton of refrigeration. Now, as this particular device, mechanical element, refrigeration is power consuming device. And it is normally what we have to do, we are finding the efficiency of the heat engine because heat engine is the power generating device. But in this case, it is impossible to calculate the efficiency as it is always more than 1 and efficiency can never be more than 1. So instead of efficiency, we have to use the term coefficient of performance. Just have to see here, coefficient of performance, COP. So performance of refrigerating effect in terms of efficiency, as in case of heat engine, is to be measured in terms of COP. So COP is nothing but as equivalent to efficiency of the heat engine. So COP is defined as the same way, it is exactly the definition of the efficiency. Ratio of the refrigerating effect. Refrigerating effect is the output that is produced and work done is the input that is supplied to the refrigerating effect. So here you have to keep in mind about the output by input. So output is what? Refrigerating effect, and input is what? Work supplied. Okay. So COP is nothing but the output by input, but we cannot put it as efficiency term because it is always more than 1. COP of the refrigerating effect is always more than 1 and efficiency should never be more than 1, more than 100%. So instead of efficiency, we are using the term coefficient of performance. Okay, so this is about the coefficient of performance, and you have to keep in mind about this COP with reference to theoretical COP. So actual COP may be different from theoretical COP. Theoretical COP is the COP calculated from the equation, but whenever you are directly or actually measuring the COP, it may be different. So relative COP is equal to the actual COP divided by theoretical COP. Okay, so this is about the COP that may be used, and refrigerator works on the reverse Carnot cycle, as I already mentioned you about this term, that it is working based on the reverse Carnot cycle to produce the refrigerating effect. So these power consuming devices. Then we have to see the same way. We already discussed the PV and TS diagram for the heat engine, and in this way we have to find out the COP instead of efficiency. So it is reverse of the efficiency of the heat engine, nothing else. But how we can derive, that I will show you in this thing, so you can easily understand about the equivalency of the efficiency of the heat engine with the COP of the refrigeration. So here you have to keep in mind about the pressure and velocity diagram and temperature versus entropy diagram of the Carnot cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the process. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the process for both the cases. And what you have to do is you have to consider one by one each and every process. Process 1, 2 and process 3, 4 is the adiabatic compression. as seen from the figure 1, 2, and 3 for adiabatic compression and expansion respectively. So 1, 2 is the adiabatic compression and 3, 4 is the adiabatic expansion. And for adiabatic process, what we have to do? We have Q is equal to 0 and W is equal to minus U12 as 12 is the process. So 3 for also Q is equal to 0 for the adiabatic process, heat energy is 0, and that is the definition of the adiabatic process. And W work done is equal to minus internal energy for adiabatic process. And here you have to see process 2, 3 and process 4, 1, both the processes are isothermal expansion, where in isothermal process Q is always W. So Q23 is equal to minus Q23 is equal to minus T2 S2 minus S3 and minus T2 S1 minus S4. S1 is equal to S2 and S3 is equal to S4. You can see this from this figure. S1 is equal to S2 and S3 is equal to S4. You can check this figure and keep in mind this figure, trying to make the notation regarding this. So in terms of the efficiency, TDS, Q is equal to TDS according to the definition of the entropy, and Q is equal to W. So net work done is equal to heat received minus heat rejected. So heat received is in 1 per process and heat rejected in 1 per process with respect to temperature T1 and T2. So this is about the T2 minus T1 over S1 minus S4. And refrigerating effect produced is equal to, in for 1, T1 into S1 minus S4 with respect to TS diagram. So CFB is equal to refrigerating effect divided by net work done. So refrigerating effect is this one, T1 divided by S1 minus S4, and net work done is equal to T2 minus T1 into S1 minus S4. So S1 minus S4 is to be omitted. So we will get T1 by T2 minus T1. So this is exactly the reverse of the efficiency of the Carnot cycle. That is T2 minus T1 by T1. You can recall this heat engine chapter. Okay. So that is nothing new, but the reverse Carnot cycle, and it is called as the coefficient of performance. 1 is equal to 1 by T2 minus T1 minus 1. So that is the modification of the previous equation. And now why we have to do is we are trying to improve the coefficient of the performance, COP. So how we can improve this? Just have to see here. This is constant term. So what you have to do is to improve the COP of the refrigerator, T1 and T2 should be as close as together, because if T1 is equal to T2, suppose you have to assume that T1 is equal to 2, then it becomes 1, and 1 minus 1 becomes 0, and 1 upon 0 means infinity. So coefficient of performance is infinity, means maximum, we can call it as. That is practically impossible. So what is practically possible? You are trying to keep T1 and T2 is as close as possible. It means suppose your outside temperature is say 45 degrees centigrade, and your room temperature, for example, say you have to keep it 35 degree or 30 degree, then it is very easy for air condition to operate and consuming not much power. But you have to keep your room at 18 degrees centigrade and outside temperature is 45, then definitely it needed more energy and more work, and automatically more consumption of the electrical energy will reduce the coefficient of performance. So that is the simple phenomena, that your system temperature and your surrounding temperature should be as close as possible, so that automatically your consumption of electrical energy is less, and that will improve the efficiency and reduces your bill ultimately. So this is about the how refrigeration works, and it is more or less similar to air conditioning. Air conditioning concept I will show you in the upcoming slides with the proper explanation about what kind of the components are there. Now, before going for the air conditioning, let me see one numerical. so that by illustrating the numerical, you can easily understand about each and every parameter and terminology of the refrigeration. So here you have to see Carnot refrigerator is there. Carnot refrigerator means a refrigerator works under the principle of reverse Carnot cycle, working in a temperature range. Means temperature range is given. Just have to see system temperature and surrounding temperature is there, and the actual COP is also given. Actual COP is 0.75 of the maximum COP or theoretical COP, 0.75 times. So 25% loss may be there because of the frictional loss or any other thing. Some heat loss may also be there. In that case, what you have to do, you have to determine the power consumption first, and then you have to determine the heat rejected to the surrounding per TR. So power consumption is what? So I will show you how we can see the power consumption. Just keep in mind about, first of all, you have to list out the data and try to convert it into Kelvin. Temperature T1 minus 30, temperature T2 plus 35, and converted it into Kelvin. That is the normal practice to convert the temperature into Kelvin in basic mechanical engineering problem. Now actual COP is the 0.75 into maximum COP. But COP is what? COP is already defined. We already derived the equation as per the Carnot cycle, T1 by T2 minus T1. So use this application, use this equation to find out the COP. So that is the theoretical COP. Okay, that is your theoretical COP. 3.75. Just have to see this in this box. 3.75. And actual COP is equal to 0.75. This is written as 0.75. Because of some issue, scan is not properly done, but it is 0.75 into maximum COP. Maximum COP means theoretical COP. 3.75, that is we are calculating here. So you have to see we are calculated by applying the equation that we already derived. So it is actual COP is 2.8. So this answer is 2.8. So once we have already calculated the actual COP, now our main objective is to find out the power consumption and heat rejected. So power consumption per turn is equal to 1 turn 1 TR divided by actual COP. Now 1 TR is equal to what? We already derived the standard 1 TR, that is 3.51 or 3.88, but we are ideally taking it as 3.51 as we are derived in the initial action, divided by the actual COP, that is calculated 2.8. So your answer is 1.25. Okay, 1.25 kilowatts. So that is the 1.25 kilowatt is the power consumption in this system. And by consuming this power means electrical energy, we are achieving the refrigerating effect. But how? What amount of refrigerating effect is produced? That we have to see in the upcoming slide. Just have to see heat rejected. First of all, you have to find out the heat rejected. Okay. So based on the heat rejection, we can see the actual amount of refrigerating effect is produced. So heat rejected per ton is equal to standard COP, that is the 3.51 plus power consumption. So standard COP is actually the heat rejected, heat used to convert the 1 ton of ice from the water. So that is the standard COP, 3.51 plus what is our power consumption? 1.25. So total means 4.76 kilowatt is the total heat rejected during the refrigerating effect to make it such kind of the refrigerating effect. So this is the way how we can find out the power consumption and heat rejected in the refrigeration system. Okay, so this is about the refrigeration system. Now refrigeration system, fundamental of refrigeration system we are talking about the, but actually refrigeration systems are of two types. That I will show you. One is the vapor compression refrigeration system. It is called as the VCR. Normally we are using this VCR, vapor compression refrigeration system, in our domestic refrigerator or fridge. However, it is also one more system is there, that is vapor absorption refrigeration cycle is there, VAR. So what is the main difference between these two? I will show you. In vapor compression refrigeration system, what happens according to the name, compression takes place. Okay, so compressors are used, and compressor is very noisy element and consuming more power. So to avoid the or to shortlist the drawback of the compression refrigeration system, VCR, vapor absorption refrigeration system is to be introduced by subtracting the compressor element, and compression is to be converted into absorption process. How absorption process occurs and in what way refrigerating effect is produced, that I will show you in subsequent discussion. So please keep in mind about this. So just you to see the vapor compression refrigeration system that is normally used in our refrigerator, in which you have to keep in mind about the four important components: compressor, then just you have to see one. This is the one number. This is the two number. So process one two. Process one two is the compressor. Now what happens in compressor? Low temperature and low pressure. Low temperature and low pressure vapor refrigerant. I have already listed the different kind of the refrigerant. For example, say ammonia or say R314 or lots of R410. Lots of refrigerants are listed over in the previous discussion. Out of which any suitable refrigerant, depending upon the application, we can choose. What you have to do is you have to supply the refrigerant, and at the entry of the compressor, what is the position of the refrigerant? Low pressure and low temperature. Now what happens in compressor? As we already discussed air compressor in the last video. So what happens? It increases the pressure. So low compressor becomes high pressure now. So compressor's main function is this, to increase the pressure. And automatically pressure is increased as the volume remains constant, temperature is increased. Okay, at constant volume, charge low, temperature is also increasing. Now high pressure and high temperature refrigerant, that is the main function of the compressor, to increase the pressure. Okay, now what is the benefit of increasing the pressure, that I will show you here. What happens now at the second point, after the compressor element, condenser is there. So that refrigerant of high pressure and high temperature is to be entered into the condenser. Now what happens in condenser? Your pressure remains constant. So that is your objective. But you don't need the high temperature. But it is freely received in the compressor. So what you have to do? You have to reduce the temperature of that refrigerant by providing the condenser. Condenser is the element in which condensation process takes place, and temperature of the refrigerant is to be reduced. So high pressure, low temperature, liquid refrigerant. So vapor refrigerant is now converted into liquid refrigerant as temperature is reduced. Okay, so this is the vapor refrigerant entered, and now also you have to see the condition, state of the refrigerant is converting from vapor to liquid. Then it enters into the expansion valve. It is called as the expansion device. There again, so this is the actual work done takes place. In expansion, actual work done takes place. And it becomes again, it is converted into low pressure and low temperature. As temperature is already low, so it converted into low pressure in expansion. Because in expansion, what happens? Instead of compression, reverse process takes place. So it is called as the expansion valve. Okay, or capillary tubes are there. And this low pressure and low temperature. So low pressure means automatically what happens here? Why we have to use this low pressure? Because our main aim is already there. We are already converting it into high pressure, and then why we have to convert it into low pressure? The reason is why we need the chilling refrigerant. We have to reduce the temperature of refrigerant, so that chilling refrigerant and lowest temperature refrigerant is to be used in the evaporator coil. So in coil, refrigerants are there and surrounded by the system. For example, say our fridge. You have to consider it as our fridge, in which upper portion of the fridge where we have to keep the frozen things or say milk and other pouch, where actually what happens, continuous flow of the cold air is achieved, and that cold air is nothing but the air passed in contact with the coil. The air or surrounded media is there, that is coming out. Here it is entered, passed over the evaporator coil in which chilled refrigerant is there, and in contact with the chilled refrigerant, this media, this surrounded media may be air or any other element. Air, for example, say to take it as air, so hot air in, cool air out, as it is in contact with the evaporator coil. So main thing is what we have to supply the chilling refrigerant in evaporator coil, and chilling can only be possible by expanding them, by reducing the pressure. So automatically when you have to reduce the pressure, the temperature is reduced according to the charge law. But we need the low temperature, not pressure. So pressure is again forcefully we are achieving. So for that, again you have to increase the low pressure into high pressure by means of the compressor, where actual heat energy is supplied. Actual heat energy is supplied by means of the electrical energy. Okay, by means of the electrical energy, we have to rotate the compressor, and then it is converted into high temperature and then again into low temperature, and continuously making the refrigerating effect. So that is the way how refrigeration works, and same fundamental is to be used in the air conditioning system. Okay. So why we have to increase or decrease the pressure, that is you have to keep in mind. And whatever the discussion we have done, only thing is that we are changing the compression process into absorption process. So here you have to see, instead of using the heat energy system, vapor absorption refrigeration system uses the heat energy. Just have to see heat energy instead of mechanical work or compressor to produce the refrigerating effect. So that is the only change. The vapors are absorbed in liquid, which are circulated effectively through the pump, where heat energy is supplied to generate the high pressure vapor. And high pressure or pressure refrigeration should be in high pressure by means of absorbing the liquid, which is circulated through the pump. So here what you have to do is, we have two cycles. One is ammonia water system and another one is water lithium bromide system, in which ammonia is normally used in the first one as a refrigerant, and here water is used as an refrigerant, and lithium bromide is used as an absorbent, whereas in case of this, water is used as an absorbent. So here how it is possible, that I will show you simple explanation about the vapor absorption refrigeration system. So here to see, same thing is there. We are starting from the condenser part. So here high pressure, yes, just here you can see low pressure and low temperature. So this one is the pump, and absorber is there. Absorber is fitted over here, and this is the condenser. This is evaporator, and this is expansion. These are the common things. So instead of compressor, we are using the absorber. So here you have to see, from absorber, from evaporator, we are having low pressure and low temperature refrigerant. Refrigerant is NH3, for example, say NH3, or water may be used in the second system. Is coming out is in vapor form. It is entered into the compressor in the initial phase, vapor compression system. But here what happens? It is entered into the atmosphere absorber, And in absorber, what happens? Just have to see. We are isolating the two pumps, weak solution and strong solution. By generating these things, it absorbs the vapor and try to convert this into high, increase the pressure timings of the pumps in the absorbing process, and that converted into high pressure and automatically high temperature vapor. And then same thing is there. It is entered into the condenser to make it into low temperature. High pressure remains constant, and then high pressure is to be released, expanded in the expansion valve or expanding device to make it low pressure and low temperature, means chilling effect. So actually chilling effect is produced in the expansion valve in both the cases. And then low chilling refrigerant is to be supplied to the evaporator coil, and where it is surrounded by the media, cooling media, to make it cool, and it is used for the specific purpose. So simple thing is there. Both the operation are similar, but we are isolating the compressor and introducing the absorber to take the advantage of uh, unnecessary moving part of the compressor, so that we are making this vapor absorption system more economical and more compatible. Now here you have to see what are the fundamental difference between these two systems that I will show you. The fundamental difference between these two systems are vapor compression system and vapor absorption system is there on left and right hand side. Here mechanical energy is used, here heat energy is used. And we are isolating the mechanical energy, so there is less amount of the maintenance. So here you have to see maintenance is very high due to use of the compressor, but we are our main objective is to reduce the maintenance. So maintenance is almost less, almost nil due to absenteeism of the mechanical work. COP is usually high, COP is low. However, we are not achieving as much amount of the COP in vapor absorption system. But to the specific media, to the specific application, we can go for that. Here initial cost is low, but running cost is high because it is continuously consuming the electrical energy and it offers the high electricity bill. But here initial cost is high. Setup of the absorber, pumps and other things are very high, but running cost is low because it is not using the electrical energy. So cost effective, environment friendly, no maintenance. But the only thing is that it has not good amount of COP as achieved in the vapor compression system. That is the only thing that you have to keep in mind about the vapor compression and vapor absorption system. Now air conditioning. I will show you quick glimpse about the air conditioning. Air conditioning is similar to the refrigerating process, but in which you have to keep in mind two things. Not only temperature, humidity level is also introduced in the air conditioning. So air conditioning is the process of air conditioning is the process of maintaining the temperature as well as humidity level. So most comfortable environmental condition, air conditioning. Condition means your air is not chilled up. We are not making the system temperature to the 0 degree or -4 or -10 degree centigrade. You have to maintain only 20-25 degree centigrade. Not much, but refrigerating effect, refrigerant should have comparability, very low temperature comparatively. So air conditioning is having humidity part is also there. So you have to maintain the level of the humidity. If your atmosphere is having high humidity, specifically in rainy season, we are suffering the high humidity level, in which we are feeling very unsightness or not feeling very good because of the high humidity. Okay, so the main function of air conditioning is to maintain the minimum temperature and also humidity level too. So comfortable, just have to see here, comfortable temperature is 23 or 24 degrees centigrade. with about 60% around humidity ratio should be there. In rainy season, specifically in Ahmedabad, we are suffering 80 to 90% humidity. So quality of the air with proper CO2 level is also nowadays important. Nowadays, air conditions are of having the special features of cleaning the air too. So depending upon the requirement, we have to appropriately choose the refrigerator. Now here you have to see we are normally using the two types of the air conditioning system, and they are domestic air conditioning. Okay, so domestic air conditioning are of two types. Window, we are going for the window air conditioner or split air conditioner. Nowadays split air conditioner are very well known and widely used in most of the cases. Specifically in malls and shops and other big things, split air conditioners are more suitable, and it has more good effect, having very good effect also in comparison to the window air conditioner. So just have to see about the window air conditioner how it looks. Here I will show you how it looks. Window air conditioner, very simple thing is there. Same concept of refrigeration, vapor compression refrigeration is to be used here. Here you can see we have one wall is there. You can see one wall is there. This is the wall. This is wall, and here you can see about the effect. Here you can see about the effect of the refrigeration, hot air to the atmosphere, and air conditioned space. This is the air conditioned space. Okay, so this part is outside part. This is inside. This, and this is the window. So half portion, approximately half portion is on outside. And outside part, what we are having the compressor. Okay, we are having the compressor. Also condenser is there, compressor and condenser, and evaporated coil. You have to see evaporated coil is on inside. So whatever the refrigerant, chilled refrigerant, low temperature, low pressure refrigerant is passing through the evaporated coil. So this is the evaporated coil through which the refrigerant is passed, and that due to that refrigerant, outside air entered is chilled, becoming chill, and that chilled air is supplied to the room, so that room becomes cooler, and hot air is to be removed outside. Just have to see hot air is to be removed. Very simple thing is there. Compressor, condenser, expansion valve, and evaporator coil. All four components are there and arranged in this way, inside and outside. So this is about the window air conditioner. And in split air conditioner, what happens? We are having the two units. So compressor parts are separated as outdoor units and indoor units. So here you have to see we are having the two parts. Indoor unit. In indoor unit, what we have to do? We have evaporator coil and expansion valve, and it is similar to window air conditioner, in which whichever the portion is inside the room is having the evaporator coil and expansion valve. And outdoor unit, outside part in window AC also having the compressor and condenser, as we already seen in the figure. So similarly here what you have to do is, here both the parts are separated. Compressor and condenser and evaporator, and same function is there. Expansion valve, evaporator coil, refrigerant is passed over the evaporator coil, low temperature, low pressure, and then it becomes high, then enters into the compressor. Electrical energy is supplied, high pressure and high temperature, then condenser, and so on. Refrigerating effect is produced in the evaporator coil, air is becoming cool and then air is entered into the room. So this is about the simple air conditioning system. So this is about the refrigeration and air conditioning system and fundamental